To Health and Hope Night. We're Amber and Jared, certified Optavia coaches, and so excited to be with you this evening. We're going to share some stories of success tonight. We're going to be sharing lots of different things. I'm excited. I'm excited to give everyone on just a little bit of a sneak peek into Optavia, into how this has blessed our lives and others. And I'm excited to just have some fun tonight.
Yeah, we're like Amber said, we're certified coaches, and we're in our 13th year of coaching, and it just keeps getting better. You develop the foundations, and then once you develop those foundations, you just see potential growing and growing. And I don't think that I saw my true potential as an individual, as a human being, as a partner to Amber, to a father to our kids, or anything like that. And so some of the principles that we're going to share tonight, that we really focus on in Optavia, we're focusing on health. That is such a big topic. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about how the principles that we teach in Optavia can help every aspect of your life.
Absolutely. So our agenda tonight, we're going to talk about some mindset, being awakened to the secrets of lifelong transformation. Ooh, I love secrets. Or the skill sets. Maybe you want to learn how to decide to move forward in your health from some people who have successfully created it. So it's pretty cool. And then some action. Sometimes, you get like some mindsets, you get some skills, but you have to actually take the steps forward in order to move towards that health in your life. So we're excited tonight.
So to start off, we're just going to run a poll real quick. Which answer best describes you? Are you an independent Optavia coach? Are you a client? Or are you a guest who's perhaps joining us for the first or second or third time?
Yeah, I love this. I love that when we do these health and hope nights, we have people join in who maybe they've been a client for a while, or they've been coaching with our company, or maybe they're just checking it out. And so there's lots of different people who join.
I think that I put myself in all three categories, because I'm a coach, but I've also been a client for the full 13 years.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm a guest learning something new every single time we meet.
That is true. So here's some things to learn straight off the bat. So here's some worldwide statistics. What's happening right now in this here planet Earth? Worldwide obesity has nearly tripled since 1975. That's before I was born.
That's after I was born.
Old man. Most of the world's population live in countries where overweight and obesity kills more people than underweight. This is a big problem. Talk about America.
So a third of the adults report that money is a major source of conflict in their relationship. We've been there.
Yeah.
Right. It is when you don't feel like you've got enough resources to take care of your family, everything becomes a problem. And I have a little sign by my computer that I'm like the CEO of the Overthinkers Club, right? And it says, overthinking is the art of creating problems out of thin air, right? So that's me, and I'm getting a lot better at it. But 69% of workers were stressed over their finances, with 72 admitting that they worry about personal finances while they're at work. So how does this contribute to our productivity in our lives, whether it's at a job or whether it's in your home, your relationships? And in 2020, July, rates of depression and anxiety in the US were more than triple those of early 2019. So a simple question, how are you, has turned into an emotional minefield for people.
Yeah. So here's the bottom line, as Dr. A likes to say. Bottom line, a lot of people are hurting, suffering right now, worldwide. And if we can help any of those people, that's why we're here. That's what our mission is about.
We've been in all those categories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And, Dr. A, when he first started Optavia, our co-founder, he was doing great in a lot of ways, you guys. Valedictorian of his medical class, open heart surgery, Cleveland Clinic, 10th board certified critical care physician in the country. And he director, Grandview Hospital, department chair for 18 years of anesthesiology. And here's the thing is he felt this urge inside of him. Like, I got into medicine because I really wanted to help people create health in their life, but I kind of feel like I'm too far downstream. I kind of feel like I'm just patching people up when they're on the verge of death.
Yeah, and a big part of Dr. A's story that we've heard him share over and over were those two beautiful daughters of his by his side, Savannah and Erica.
Yeah.
And when he went into medicine, he didn't have those two girls. And he was successful and he was fulfilled and working tons of hours and sleeping at the hospital and stuff. And then he has these two beautiful little girls, and he didn't quite have as much fulfillment in his life anymore. He wanted to be with them. He wanted to focus on what mattered most in his life. And he still cared about medicine, but he also had these new loves of his life. And so what we do in Optavia allows people to help others, but also while they're doing that, they get to focus on what is absolutely most important in their lives.
Absolutely. And so that's why Dr. A created our Habits of Health system. And he wrote these books. This is evidence-based. And he helps us to work on these mindsets, work on the things that really move us toward that optimal health, because that's the goal. I don't think there's anybody who says, I want to be more sick in my life. Like,
I haven't met him.
I haven't either. So he wrote the Habits of Health system, helps our mindset. He set up this system where everyone gets a coach. Everyone has someone to link arms with. As coaches, we're not experts. Guess what? We're not perfect. We're on the road too. And that's kind of why it's perfect, because we get it. We're just linking arms. And then we have a whole community. If you're participating in Health and Hope Night right now, you're participating in our community. We have webinars like this. We have lots of groups, and we have convention coming up in July. It's just so cool to be part of a group of people who want good things for others, that there's an abundance. Everybody can have these good things. And then we have our amazing fueling systems, our fuelings, our programs. You guys, like, this is where it's at. Dr. A also knew people needed convenient nutrition. This is why he partnered with Optavia and said, okay, this nutrition is on point. This makes sense. There's a reason why people go through fast food, and it's not because it's delicious, and it's not because it's healthy. It's because it's convenient. And so we take that idea of convenience, we made it healthy, and we help people to have a doable way to achieve their goals.
Yeah, and Dr. A refers to these 4 components, as Amber just described, as Optavias, as our human transformational technology. I always give this example to people. I'm like, I don't know if any of you guys out there are still using like the washboard to wash your clothes and stuff, but I discovered several years ago, well, my entire life, these fantastic machines called laundry machines. What? And I can do, like, the other day over the weekend or something like that, I knocked out like 9 loads of laundry and stuff. And guess how much time I spent on that? I don't know, like 15 minutes. Like, I'm not actually doing any of the work. The laundry machines are washing the clothes, and then it takes me like 15 seconds to move it from the washer to the dryer. It's not difficult.
I'm seeing some good comments in the chat about this. They're like, I'm catching what you're throwing my way, Jared.
Yeah. So it's technology that we use. Everybody has cell phones, vehicles. We use all kinds of technology. And this is human transformational technology. Education, coaching, community, fuelings to help us have our best chances of optimal health. And so it's been just an absolute blessing in my life for the last 13 years to be able to utilize this technology to say, this is where I want to go. And I have all the steps between where I'm at currently at and where I want to go. And it's all laid out for me.
I love it.
All I got to do is change the laundry.
Change that laundry. I love having this guy around. Helps keep me on track. That's for sure. Okay, let's bring on one of our friends to share a little bit of health and hope with you from her personal story. Steph, are you there?
I am. Thank you, Amber. You know, my story really started out with someone who was an athlete. I was a soccer player and I was in leadership roles in school. And, you know, I was just this really confident girl that got married and had a few kids. And I found myself in a codependent relationship with a partner who struggled with addiction. And I don't know if anybody knows much about that. I didn't. I was just in it. And, you know, fast forward 17 years, my husband and I separated. I ended up moving in with my parents, and life was just completely happening to me. And none of it was my fault. You guys understand where I'm coming from? Like the old me, it was not my fault. And I just felt so helpless and so hopeless. I didn't have any income to take care of my kids. And I was so scared just looking into the future. And I was at that moment playing the victim, like totally unaware, but totally playing the victim in my life. And you know what I really did? I look at this girl in the gray t-shirt and she was like, something has to change. And what I did is I decided to tackle my weight first. And honestly, at the time, it was because it was cheaper than therapy. I remember like studying the costs and being like, well, we'll try this one first because it costs less. And as I got started and having success on this program after failing in everything else, I started looking around and thinking, what else can I do? Like, what else can I change? Because this newly empowered me wanted to know, you know, what else was possible in my life, basically. And so I knew my mindset needed a ton of work. And I plugged in hard to the Habits of Health trainings. I got the life book, I dove in, I started coaching other people, and it helped me get in control of my life, my finances, and just kind of everything. You guys, I said yes to training on Zooms, feeling totally inadequate and making huge technical mistakes because I didn't know what I was doing yet. I invested in going to events, and coaching just radically started changing my life. In 2019, my marriage dissolved, and I totally relied on the things I had learned in my coach training. I was able largely to stay out of drama and above the line during that time in my life, and it was actually so empowering. And what a gift to our kids and to my partner in future parenting. Such a gift. And you know, during this time, my mentor coaches really just kept checking in on me. It was a hard season and it was a dark season, and they showed up with empathy in my life and asked me if I could continue to show up, but gave me permission to show up at like 10 or 15% capacity. You guys know what I'm talking about? Sometimes that's all you can do. And the business I had built before the divorce really carried me through some of these hard and dark seasons. I was barely hanging on, but I didn't leave. And during COVID, oh my gosh, you guys, I felt so alone. Sometimes the only reason I got out of bed was because I had scheduled a celebration call or a meet and greet. And it really brought a lot of joy back into my life. And I want to share with you, I was on this walk with a friend, and after a divorce, you look into the future and it's really blank. It's like, even if the future is bad when you're married, you kind of know what to expect. And I was looking into the future and it was black. And I told my friend, the future is black. And she said, Steph, don't say it's black. Change it to yellow. Change it to sun. And I remember that just being the shift of like, I can just look in the future and I can just see yellow. I can do that. And the next month, I found myself moving to Hawaii. You guys, I wanted to share something cool I heard. I listened to this podcast where the woman said, failure is the currency you use to purchase success. So in order to have more success, I basically needed more failures, which was perfect because the rental I was living in Utah got sold. My house build fell through. I had lost my marriage, and I was becoming an expert in this thing called failure. But because that happened, I ended up renovating a house in Kona and buying a house down the street. And you guys, I'm just rebuilding right now. I'm not as worried to fail anymore because I've already failed so big. And I started to learn how to surf this year. And let me tell you, it is mostly falling on your face and getting cut. Your feet get cut up every time. You guys, rashes, water up your nose. And that's why most people never try it. They don't want to look like a fool. But man, every wave you catch is the best feeling in the world. And so I think I'm going to keep at it, see what happens. Thanks, Amber.
Oh my goodness, Steph.
Gold.
I loved how she said, I'm going to change black to yellow. And that is Steph through and through.
Pick your favorite color, right?
Absolutely. And Optavia is more than just about weight loss. Yeah, Steph lost some weight and she actually looks amazing and feels great. But you know what? What she learned in the Habits of Health in the Life book, that's right here. I love this. It's time for you to become the dominant force in your life. That's what we want. That was Dr. A's vision when he started this. What can we do? What tools can we bring? What community can we envelop our people in so that they can better become the dominant force?
You know, it's interesting that Steph brought that up. Like, even if you're in a bad marriage, whatever your current circumstances are, she found herself through a divorce that she didn't see anything in the future because she was so used to just seeing the challenges, right? Mm-hmm. But whether you don't see something or you do see something, that doesn't exist yet. Mm. If you want something that specifically in your life, by learning how to become that dominant force, you can create that. And oftentimes we start with people's physical health. Yeah. But many people come to us where they're already at a healthy weight, but they're trying to create more energy in their life. They're trying to create more purpose in their life.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think one of the biggest things for me that I've gained from Optavia is the awareness piece. And so this is the drama triangle. This is from element 4 in our life book. And I want to bring Steph back on. Steph, I just want you to look at this drama triangle. There's victim, villain, hero. Walk me through where were you at in this drama triangle, would you say, in the lowest points?
Oh my gosh, you guys, the victim is like, it feels so good to be the victim because nothing's your fault, right? And as long as you want to blame somebody else, it feels amazing because you can. But once you decide you're done being there, you also have no power if you're sitting there. And so you really have to recognize where you're at and decide that you want to move. And so moving off of that victim base was so big for me.
I love that, Steph. And, you know, I think we can all probably think of times in our life or times in our day today where we probably landed somewhere on this drama triangle where we're saying like, it's not fair. This is happening to me. Like it snowed. And I'm like, it's not fair. It's so cold. Right? I'm like, it snowed.
Stephanie lives in Hawaii and we live in
it's
Utah.
Not fair. I blame Stephanie for making me jealous of her sunshine. No, or, you know, sometimes we're the hero and we're going, boy, I just need to do everything for my kids. But here's the thing, is a hero that might seem great, except for you're enabling victims.
Well, I thought about this several years ago when I started to learn about this. Our kids love all of the DC movies and the Marvel movies and stuff. Like it's all about heroes, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, how do I compare to these people? And those movies, blockbuster movies and stuff, they would not exist if there wasn't a victim and a villain. The hero has to have a victim and a villain. And I looked at my own life and I was like, hero was a place that I liked to go to. I would actually start as a villain. And then I'd be like, oh, I got to hero this situation. I can come in and save the day. I just kind of ruined the day, but now I'm going to save the day. And I recognized that when I took that role as a hero, sometimes there weren't even victims yet. And I was actually creating victims out of my spouse, out of my kids. They didn't have that mindset, but I came in and helped them become the victim because I needed to be a hero so badly.
It's usually temporary relief.
Yeah.
Like it's not when you're empowering someone, because let's go to that. Let's go to what would be the mirror image here. And that's the empowerment triangle, where at the top, instead of the victim, it's the creator. Like I'm in charge of what happens. I'm in charge of how I react to the things out of my control, or the challenger rather than the villain, where it's like obstacles help me get better. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions.
Here's a idea for you. Like in that victim role, oftentimes we change, or we want to initiate change in our lives based on dissatisfaction. Oh, I know what I don't want in my life, right? And I don't want this. And because I'm a victim of that, right? So the mirror image of that is, what do I want?
Vision.
It's vision. The great Helen Keller said, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight with no vision, right? So that vision is that creatorship. It's like, what do I want to create in my life? Not what do I just not want?
Right. Well, and the mirror image of the hero, you know, what's not enabling anyway. I lost the word.
Enabler.
Yes. Is the coach. You guys, this is the other genius part of what Dr. Ace put together here, helping people get into that coach role where I can empower others to be successful, because it's a system that I plug into. It's not up to me. It's up to them. Because if it's up to the coach, guess what? You're always going to get let down, because we're not perfect as coaches. So here's the mirror images that you can see. Above the line is creator, coach, challenger, empowerment. Below the line, villain, victim, hero, drama. And guess what? You're always going to be on both sides of this coin in your life.
It's a state of being, not a location, right? It's like it's fluid. We're in and out of this all the time. And it's our opportunity to increase our consciousness and awareness and just simply identify, where am I at right now?
Yep.
And do I want to shift?
Yeah. And here's the thing. If you prefer that empowerment, you prefer what that brings into your life, just dial up that awareness of when you're in that drama. When you start going below the line and you're in that drama, that's when you can, oh my goodness, here I am again, because it's going to keep happening, because welcome to planet Earth. So the trick is, and I love this tool that we utilize in Optavia, and it's from Dr. A. It's called Stop, Challenge, Choose. And the stop is where you realize it. Oh man, I'm in the drama triangle again. I'm here and I'm noticing it. Before you didn't even notice it, right?
Challenge is a shift. It's moving from villain to challenger, right? Mm-hmm. You're challenging your thought. Hey, this is just a thought. It's a story that I'm telling myself. It's a meaning that I'm attributing to the situation or circumstance.
Yeah. And I think a good thing during challenge, take a few deep breaths, like in through your nose, do it with me. Out through your mouth. Yep. I'm here again. What do I want? And that's when you can choose. And you know what? Sometimes you choose to stay in the drama. Okay. At least you did it from awareness. And sometimes you choose, I'm ready to shift. I want to get back into presence. I want to get back into that empowerment dynamic. Okay, so you guys, maybe during that, you were thinking a little bit like, which drama role do I tend to slip into more often? So go ahead and take that poll here. Is it victim, villain, or hero? And guess what? We're all in one of those at some point in our life. But what do you tend to slip into more often?
I already shared, I was already transparent with mine. I throughout my life, my 47 years, I've been quick to villain, and then I like slide into hero because I want to save the day. And but I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Running the bases.
Classic is the parent who's like trying to teach their kids how to tie their shoe. And they're like, we gotta go, give me that shoe. So they hero it and they just tie that shoe. Yeah, we've all been there. Just admit it. Just admit it. Okay, so let's bring up those poll results. All right, interesting. Yep, we always have like plenty of heroes because I think people who are drawn to like Optavia sometimes.
Helping other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It starts out good until you realize it's the temporary relief one, right? But yeah, no, we have definitely, all of us, there's definitely a good representation.
And it's not good or bad, right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's just, are we getting into drama or are we creating that empowerment? And do I want to shift that?
Absolutely. So let's shift gears, speaking of shifting, into our trilogy wheel. So I love this. In Optavia, we don't just focus on healthy body. This isn't just about losing some weight or improving your health or going for a run. No, that's important things. We want you to look at your healthy body on a scale of 1 to 10. Where am I? How am I doing with my weight, my eating, my sleep, my safety and healthy environment? There's a lot of aspects, but also the healthy mind. How are my relationships? My fulfillment? Do I have time for hobbies? But the third one, finances. I thought Jared would jump in. Healthy finances. So how are you doing with money management? You guys, there are people living paycheck to paycheck for making tons of money versus somebody on a small income, but doing great.
I was just distracted I was reading all of these words on the trilogy wheel and kind of evaluating, as I do frequently, at where I was, where I am now, and where I want to be. Mm-hmm. And I was really low in all of these areas. I wasn't at a healthy weight. I lost 30 pounds on the 5-in-1 plan. And I was physically active, but my eating was all over the place. Relaxation, horrible, right? My fulfillment in life, pretty low. When it came to healthy finances, we managed our money pretty well, but we didn't have very much of it.
Not much abundance.
Not much abundance, no time freedom.
So with that, let's start thinking about, I want you guys to start assessing where you're at in those 3 areas of the trilogy. And I would love to bring on some of my friends, Kayla and Randy. Why don't you share with us a little bit about your trilogy story? Are you guys there?
We're here.
Yeah, we're here. Thank you so much for asking us to share. So in 2017, I considered myself to be living a fine life. I was a stay-at-home mom. We have our 4 sons, as you can see there. But I was just in a fine place, not great, just fine. And I found myself kind of being the grumpy mom, like snapping at my kids and just getting frustrated a lot, and definitely needing an afternoon nap. And so I was just not showing up the way I wanted to as a mom. So I found Optavia and dropped 20 pounds, which was really exciting. But dropping that 20 pounds kind of opened up my mind to like, what else can I do? And so one of those first things that I decided to approach or try was becoming a coach and paying it forward. And that has just been a huge blessing these last 4 years. And it's kind of cool to see how it's kind of helped me to not be as much of a grumpy mom. Losing the 20 pounds was cool too. But I'll just share a quick story. So last week, one of our sons, I won't tell you which one, but one of our sons, his teacher was letting us know that there were some behavior issues that she was concerned about. And she was a little surprised by it, and so was I. So just to let you know, what old Kayla would do would be, kind of confront him and tell him to knock it off. And, hey, you're making me look like a bad mom and other people are judging me. What is the teacher going to think about me? But all these years that I've been coaching, I've realized that I spend a lot of time asking questions and I do a lot of listening. And I've had a lot of practice with that with my clients over the years. And so it was cool to see that I transferred those skills to my son. I pulled him aside. I didn't do it in front of his brothers. And I said, what's going on? And then I just listened. And it was so cool to, at the end of that conversation, where he spent most of the time talking, to just turn over to him and empower him and say, what's your plan? What do you think you can do to improve the situation? And it was just a beautiful thing. And I'm just so glad that coaching has transferred into my life as a mom.
I love how anytime we get to kind of share our story, our Optavia story, and there's so many facets to it, how we can see how it just blesses our lives in so many different areas. So for me, my whole working life, I've spent it in some type of an industry, one way or another, that's been providing help to people, whether it was when I turned 16 and I started working at a big department store, helping people find the right clothes and get them fitted, or after high school, working in a music store. Moms needed to figure out which reeds their kid needed for band. And then there was the old dudes that were still trying to make it big with their band. And so they got to get the right gear. In college, it was an IT help desk. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a lawyer. To me, this was like the pinnacle of helping folks, right? To be able to provide help on issues that were so complex that you would need someone with a special knowledge or a special skill to kind of help bail them out. Sound a little familiar, right? I think maybe I resonate with Jared here on the hero mentality, right? Here's the thing. Becoming an Optavia coach has allowed me to flourish in ways of my life that have just been long neglected. Before I was a coach, I was a client. This was my coach, right? And I lost weight, but I struggled to understand how to both reach and then maintain my goals after the fact, because I wasn't really embracing all of these components, the things, not just in the trilogy wheel, but we talked about at the very beginning, in order to obtain optimal health. Before I was a coach, I struggled in the area of figuring out how to balance providing for our family, because I really thought that working 40, 50, 60, 80 plus hours a week, this was it. Like, that's how life was going to be. And if you were going to find fulfillment along the way, that's a bonus, but good luck. But since becoming a coach, I've come to realize that for me, that all of the things I've done previously, and it's not to diminish them because they were great and they were important, right? And they helped shape me who I am. But all of those things just feel so superficial on the surface, because the feeling you get when you get to help someone else, someone you're coaching, start to find new fulfillment in their life, find new areas of happiness along their path as they embark on the same transformational journey that you've been on, it's amazing. We have been so blessed as a family just to be part of this community. Talking about how we've grown individually and as a family, I know we've gotten better as a couple. I get to work alongside my favorite person every day now. And after 18 years of marriage, like, our marriage is stronger because we're healthier. That journey to optimal health, it's taught us to communicate better with each other, better with our children, with our friends, our family, and our associates. And so that's why we're just so excited every time we get to bring someone along with us. Mm-hmm. We love it when they get to do that too, because to go on that journey, there's just nothing more rewarding. So thanks for letting us share our story, guys.
Awesome job, guys. Oh my gosh. And looking at these pictures, like, they just look brighter, happier.
I know, it looks like the first one was taken on a cloudy day, but no, it looks like there's like light coming out of them. And one of my favorite things about looking at people's transformation pictures is their smiles and their eyes.
Yeah.
And it's just a completely different feeling that you get. And like Randy just said, like, their marriage is stronger, their family's stronger. And that's what we want to help people create, stronger individuals, stronger family lives, stronger community lives.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get those poll results. which areas of, oh, actually, this is a new poll. I don't know how we're going to get results before we launch it. Okay, so which areas of the trilogy of optimal health would you like to improve? So there's healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. I mean, I don't know too many people who wouldn't want to improve all three. That's what I always say. Most people
Click all that apply.
Healthier, wealthier, happier, all the things, right? And it really is true though, you guys, that when you're out of whack in one of these areas, it tends to affect the others, all joking aside.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I was a little kid growing up in Portland, Oregon, and we'd go out on our tricycles. And it seemed like we went through a tricycle at least once a year, right? And you're doing your spin outs and stuff, going down the wet hills, and you'd blow a back wheel off and stuff. That big wheel, that trike, it just wasn't the same anymore.
I was gonna say, I had a big wheel. You might have had a tricycle, but old man.
No, I had a big wheel.
So here's the thing is, when you start getting healthier, and not just with weight loss, you guys, with like your mindset, like your overall wellness, it starts improving. People begin to notice. They begin to ask you about your transformation. And here's the thing is, you have two options. You can refer them to your coach. I love referrals. A referral, it really does make me feel like my client trusts me to refer their friend, to put their health like into my hands in a way, although the whole system really.
Right.
But you can refer them to your coach, and we love that. We will say thank you and love you forever. But here's the second option. And this option, because taking referrals to me almost feels, what's the word? Like selfish to me to just take the referral, because I know that if my client pays it forward and helps their friend, like that's going to bring so much into their life. That's going to help them be more accountable. They're linking arms with their friend. They're going on that journey together. So that's your other option, is to pay it forward. So real quick, let's get the poll results now, because we've actually taken the poll. This is a good time to do it. Okay. So which areas of the trilogy would you like to improve? All right. So as I thought,
seeing a lot of everything.
Yes, as I thought, people, they still want to be healthier, wealthier, and happier. Funny thing. Yep. No surprise here. But let's talk about the benefits of becoming a coach. I mentioned one already. It's when you can link arms with a friend, you have that accountability. It reinforces your decision to be healthy. And honestly, it makes a difference. Like when I'm doing, I did a client check-in call just earlier. I was in my car and I just called on my Bluetooth. I was safe, I promise. Hands free. But I could do that. I could connect with someone, see how they were doing. I reminded her to hop on this Health and Hope night. And it's really cool to just be able to take those couple of minutes, connect with someone and say, I care. And that makes a difference for that person.
Yeah, it's fun and rewarding. We talked about fulfillment a lot, right? Compensation. Healthy finances is an important part of whether or not people are going to be able to continue on their path to be optimally healthy and leaving a legacy. When people talk about, I hear people talk about legacy all the time. And what does that mean? Legacy means that after I'm gone, this is what's still there. And you know, one of the coolest experiences that I've had, that we've had in the last 13 years of coaching people, that showed me what was possible with legacy was when we first started. Our kids were 2, 5, and 7 years old. Now they're 15, 18, and almost 21. Mm-hmm. And that little girl right there, about a year or so after we were coaching, she was at a friend's house in our neighborhood playing with one of her little girlfriends. And this is like back when you could first start sending a video to someone. And her mom, the girls were eating lunch together. And our little girl, Tenley, put olives on all of her fingers. All of her fingers, right? I get it. and her friend as well. And her mom sent us this video of the cute little girls with olives on all their fingers. And she said, Tenley is teaching us about healthy fats. She was just 3 years old, maybe at the time, 3 or 4. And, but she had heard us having these conversations with our clients.
Mhm.
She had heard us talking about making our own lean and green meals at home. And she was starting to understand all of these things. And as a result, it's our hope that our kids won't have some of the struggles that we had, and they'll just be able to be focused on what they want to create rather than changing based on a satisfaction that some of those challenges that we had, because they've learned how what the structure is to healthy eating. They've learned some of those mindsets of how to process their emotions a little bit better and so forth.
I love that. That's true legacy to me. You know, we have done financially well with OptiVia over the last 13 years. It's been a blessing for us. But I would say the bigger blessing has been the mindset training that we've received that helped us to be better parents, that we have not just the knowledge that salad is better than hot dogs, because most people know this, but we actually have like this skill set to implement. We have just this community that surrounds us on a daily basis. That's part of the magic, you guys, of this amazing community. So you might be asking, well, how does it work for coaches? I love that it's a relational model, that we're focused on optimal well-being. We ask people, what do you want to create in your life? We're not giving them a prescription of this is what you do and good luck with that. We link arms with them. I love that we're self-employed and we're independent.
Yeah, they're full or part-time opportunities. You can help other people as little as you want or as much as you want, right? Yeah. There's plenty of people out there to be helping all the time, but it's up to you. Mm-hmm. You get to help the number of people that you want to help.
Well, and here's the thing. If you really want health to become a lifestyle for you, I've been saying this a lot. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, you have got to make health at least your new hobby. Like, you really minimum health has to be your new hobby. But really, I actually love that we have an opportunity to make this like a hobby that actually pays too.
Part of your livelihood.
Exactly.
When you make something part of your livelihood,
you invest in it.
You invest in it and it becomes part of your lifestyle.
You think about it. You go, oh, look, that's a new lean and green I could share with my client. Yeah. Oh, look, that's a new way that I could exercise when it's freezing outside. And you learn stuff from your clients. Okay, low startup and operating costs, you guys, like seriously, Jared and I both had businesses before we started OptiVia, and the startup cost was a whole heck of a lot higher. I will tell you that. Flexibility, you can work from anywhere. Like I said, I took a client call. I was driving home from going to lunch with my friend. You can really, it's so flexible. We don't deal with any of that silliness of quotas or monthly purchases, or we're not one of those guys. We really take it seriously to help our coaches be successful. Training, support, helping just everybody thrive is what I love about it.
So action steps. We talked about this at the beginning. You can know where you want to go and you can know where you are, but you've got to have action steps to get there. You've got to have a path to go on. So action steps as we're ending tonight, reach out to the person who invited you to this community time. Make the decision to incorporate the Trilogy of Optimal Health to help you reach your goals. Have a conversation. Share your goals and your dreams and your desires with your coach, and then go to work with them to make those things a reality. Jump into all the OptiVia has to offer. There's a lot more than you think.
Absolutely. So I want to close by inviting you. There's a lot of people suffering as we started this webinar out at the beginning. There's people suffering in their bodies, they're suffering in their mindsets, stressed out, all the things. Join our mission. You know what we need? We need more people who are willing to reach into their communities, who are willing to link arms with friends and family and people that you might not even know yet. We need more people who want to help others become the dominant force in their life. And it starts one healthy habit at a time. You guys, baby steps. If you can open a wrapper and eat a fueling, you can start that journey to optimal health. So thank you so much for being on tonight, and have a fabulous week. We hope we've brought you some health and hope tonight.
At Optavia, our